he'd run onto a flying saucer that had burst open, and there were 4 beings on the ground, and that he was surveying the site. And about that time, an archaeological group from the University of Pennsylvania come on the site. There were about 4 or 5 people with this group. As they were just starting to look things over fairly closely, the military moved in and gave them a briefing to not say anything about it and to keep quiet, and that it was in the national interest that they get out of there.
What was his feeling about what it was that he had experienced?
He had no qualms about what it was. He said the vehicle from outer space without any question. The beings on there were not exactly like human beings. Similar, but not exactly.
How did he describe them?
He described them as being about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, very slim in stature, and with their heads were hairless, with no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no hair, and sort of a pear-shaped head, with the top of the head being smaller, or larger, I mean.
Any other characteristics about their appearance?
Only one thing that he mentioned is the hands were not covered. They had 4 fingers.
How were they dressed?
They were dressed in some type of a tight-fitting suit. It looked like sort of a metallic, but not metal and not nylon. And it fit to the body very closely tight. But they were not wearing any headpiece at all. And I don't recall that he said anything about what they had on their feet.
Were all of these beings dead when he found them?
They were all dead in only a short distance from the craft. The craft had burst open, and he said that they hadn't seen anybody inside, but they really hadn't had a chance to look. These were all outside the craft and quite close to the craft, within not too many feet from the object.
How did he describe the craft?
Typical flying saucer.
Disc-shaped?
Disc-shaped, and of pretty good size, not small. It was a craft that probably could have carried quite a few beings, and it wasn't one of the little small discs that was reported in somebody's place. It's probably 100 feet. Big.
Really? How did he describe the impact site, if at all?
He said it had come to rest at sort of on not a high bank, but sort of a ridge or a bank, and had hit against the bank. It had split there. But otherwise it was intact.
And did he describe any other debris or wreckage besides the...
There was no, according to him, there was no wreckage or debris around his craft.
But what, did he give any description about the archaeology team?
Nothing, except there was 4 or 5 people. And they were obviously there for a dig, and they had just come upon us just about nearly simultaneously. He just arrived there, and here they come.
Any names of any of these individuals?
He didn't have any names, because the short period that they were there, and by the time the Army rounded him up and told him to get out of there after they'd briefed him what and not to say and so on, he got his pickup and headed back for his office.
Did he ever tell this story to anybody else?
He went back to his office, and his boss, he started to tell him, and the boss told him, "Barney, don't tell me anything about it. I don't want to hear about it. Just forget it." And he says, when I was told that, he said, having been told not to say anything, he said, and I'm not going to have people think I'm crazy, so I never told anybody else until the time he told me about it.